Welcome to Mind to Pen's Grammar Tips for Writing, the podcast that makes grammar simple and practical. I am Nadia, and today we are starting our very first grammar tip in this series. Grammar tip 1 is about the comma, specifically in a parallel structure. This tiny punctuation mark can make your writing clearer and more professional. And today, we'll tell you exactly how and when to use it when you list a series of items. So let's dive in and make commas work for you. When listing elements in a series, comma play a crucial role in separating and emphasizing each component. The important rule to remember is that each item of the list must be of the same grammar form. For example, nouns, adjectives, verbs with the same tense form, clauses, or sentences. Let's look at some examples. The first one, the course emphasizes reading, writing, and critical thinking. In this case, reading, writing, and critical thinking are all nouns. Notice that we have a comma between the last item and the second to last item, writing and critical thinking, to indicate that we're concluding the list. If you use a comma before the last two items, it means that you're using the Oxford comma. The style format of APA requires writers to use the Oxford comma to improve clarity, but it's okay not to use the comma in other forms of writing, as its use is a matter of stylistic preference and not necessarily a grammatical rule. The second example, the researcher collected the data, analyzed the results, and published the findings. In this case, we're using all verbs in the simple past: collected, analyzed, and published. The third example, the students conducted the experiment, which included a section on methodology, data collection, findings, and discussion. Here we have a list of 4 different nouns. In the final example, we have the audience inquired how half the participants were recruited, when the study was conducted, and whether this study was ethical. In this case, we have dependent clauses that start with a clause marker followed by a subject and a verb. The clauses are how the participants were recruited, when the study was conducted, and whether this study was ethical. If the items in the list are long clauses, consider using a semicolon to avoid confusion. We will talk more about that in the next episode. That's it for today's grammar tip on the use of the commas. Remember, mastering even one small rule, like the use of the comma, can make a big difference in your writing. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, where we will tackle another essential comma rule. Thanks for listening to Mind to Pen's podcast. Until next time, keep writing with confidence and clarity. Bye-bye, everybody.